Hello, everybody. My name is Avery Nodland, and I am here to tell you guys why killer whales are not supposed to be in captivity by any means. Killer whales, also known as orca whales, are one of the most intelligent creatures on this whole entire planet. And a little personal aspect here, they are my favorite animals in the world. I adore these creatures. They are magnificent and are unlike any animal, well, in my opinion, are unlike a lot of different animals because they have such unique characteristics. So that is my personal opinion. But anyways, killer whales should never be even considered to be kept in captivity. They are magnificent, they are extremely intelligent, and have a larger brain than every human. They have a larger brain than humans do. So I think that captivity is basically slavery. Keeping an orca in captivity is keeping them from their home. Their home is the ocean. They swim over 100 miles per day. They hunt. They are the biggest um, eater of other animals in the ocean. They are just, like I said, magnificent. They should never be kept in captivity. They swim over 100 miles per day. They are just too big and too intelligent to be kept in a small, tiny tank. I really wish that everybody in this audience right now would watch the documentary. It's called Blackfish. It tells you exactly why SeaWorld and every other organization is terrible for wildlife. They say organizations like SeaWorld will say that they'll take in large mammals like killer whales into captivity to make them have a better life, to make them, catch better food, for instance, or to mate more properly, which is completely false. SeaWorld forces orca pod or killer whale pods together, and they will make them have children, which is completely out of science. It is not the way that orcas would, in their natural habitat, have babies. It is completely wrong and against their will. They hold these orcas against their will, and it's just terrible. And they make them do tricks for entertainment, and they make them do things that are completely wrong. Like, for example, orcas in the wild have their own separate pods of whales. So when an orca is in their separate pod, they don't socialize or interact with any whale or any other sea creature that is not in their certain pod. So when a whale is being taken in a ship, I would say, and being taken from their family, say a baby orca is taken from their mother, and these sailors have no remorse. They take this baby orca from their mother and their pod, their basically family. They are family, and they take them and they insert them in this small, tiny tank where an orca can only swim around and around every single day. That is all that they do. They swim around with whales that aren't even in their pod. So, like I was saying, whales that are born, they don't associate or insert themselves with any other mammal that is in the ocean. They only stick with their pod for life. That's what they're known for. They stick with their pod for life. So when organizations like SeaWorld take these whales into captivity and put them in their pools, these orca whales are not used to their surroundings. They don't necessarily like these other killer whales because they're not used to them. These killer whales were not born into their pod. So honestly, it's kind of like it's not like adoption for people, but it's kind of like, say if your family didn't want you anymore and so they sent you off and they put you with a completely different family. You're not necessarily as a person going to adapt well with that family because you're not used to them. You don't know them. You don't know what they're all about. You don't know what their expectations or anything in their life for that matter. You don't know any of that stuff. So that's exactly how a killer whale feels when they're put into a pool like SeaWorld. And it just devastates me how anybody could ever support an organization like SeaWorld, because what they do is cruel, it is devastating, and it is absolutely inhumane. It is completely inhumane. And it is terrible. And killer whales should never, or any animal for that matter, but especially killer whales, should never be held in captivity. Thank you.